Daddy had too much to drink and decided to use mine for a punching bag. It started in the kitchen. I must have been about 6 years old. All I heard were noises, stuff breaking, and screaming. She didn't want me to get hurt, so she overturned the coffee table and blocked the kitchen door with it so I couldn't get in. He smashed the food she cooked for him right in her face. He gave her a black eye. She tried to get the phone and call the police. He ripped the phone and the cord out of the wall. She blocked and ducked and tried to hide. I don't even remember if she tried to fight back. She just kept screaming. I had on a one-piece pajama outfit with the anti-slide feet. I took off running into the night and out into the street. I just started banging and screaming at the neighbor's house, begging for them to open the door. It had to be at least 2 a.m. The neighborhood was sound asleep. I ran next door and started banging. Open the door, my daddy's beating my mama. Her mother cut on the porch light and came to the door. I was shivering and crying. She brought me into the house, grabbed the phone, and started dialing. While 911 was on the line, she wrapped me in a big blanket and laid me on the sofa. I could barely catch my breath from the fear that I was next on my father's list. And that's page 1, okay? So this is a little bit more, because a lot of people keep asking, they want to know more and more and more and more and more. And so I have a poem in here in the beginning. So I'm just talking about how the poverty cycle started. I have a section in here. One of my most humiliating ones, guy slapped me when I was outside. Oh, I got some heavy stuff in here. Okay. So I'll read another portion tomorrow, but I wanted to give you a little bit of that. And I got this one. Now this got my stamp on it right here. It's called Yes, Women Can Preach. Y'all know all that controversy about that store that took that magazine off the shelf because it had women pastors on the front, and they don't believe in women preachers. So I decided to make my own publication and to talk about women and why they can be in the pulpit. And before I dealt with that, I decided to just raise a question. So I'll raise the question to you, okay? I found some organizations have a double standard. This section is called a double standard with a question mark, because I'm just provoking people to think. I found they have a double standard. I'd like to focus on one scripture in particular to justify the reason why women cannot be bishops or pastors, because some people say bishop translated mean pastor or shepherding. Okay, y'all probably heard this. 1 Timothy 3:2. It's a true saying, if a man desires the office of a bishop, he desires good work. He has to be blameless, husband of one wife, vigilant, sober, and all that. So then I wrote, in regards to women being bishops or preachers based on the above scripture, one might say that's impossible. The husband of one wife points to the fact that this passage is not referring to a woman, gender, because it says must be husband of one wife. If one embraces that as justification to exclude women from the office, then that should also justify why unmarried men cannot occupy the office. The husband of one wife should not just exclude women, it should exclude men who are single, men who are divorced, men who are widowed, and men who are homosexual. How can a single man occupy this office? How can a divorced man carry such a title among those who believe women cannot? How many single men have churches under their leadership without the balance of a wife? Unfortunately, we find organizations who exclude women from this office, while single men who also do not meet the scriptural criteria are permitted to function and operate as bishops. A double standard? Thought-provoking, isn't it? Because a lot of times they say, well, we don't believe women can be pastors, and this is the reason why. This is just a justification that I've heard them say. Just one of them. I go into some others. But that's one that they say. How can he be talking about a woman? He said husband of one wife. Well, how many single bishops you got? A whole lot. How many single pastors you got that got a whole harem of women in the church? So this publication is going to be available to you all first. But you better believe this is going to go far beyond these walls. I'm going to be sending this out to some of the other ladies. And I'm talking about Stephen in there. And how he was being used, that he wasn't named among the apostles. I talk about all the drama I went through when my pastor found out I had to call. It's good. It's really good. I talk about silence and comparing the scriptures. And what I've come to just find out is that people pick and chose what they wanted to use for the opportunity to control people. That's all it's ever been about. It's all been about control. So these publications, $5 a piece. Please, please, please. The book is $15. Please purchase, purchase, purchase. Okay, whatever you do will help us. If it doesn't help you, pass it on to a sister that you know is going through her church or struggling, that you know would like to preach. And I don't know if I can answer the call or what are people going to say. This will help her. Okay? All right? Don't forget, tomorrow we have a busy day. I will see you all back here tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock to exercise. If it's not rainy, we'll come in and we'll have another general session before everybody starts up at 9:30 or 10. Okay? Can you have coffee?